Salutations, salutations, salutations. Welcome to another installment of your favorite show, the Dale Ryan Report. I am Ryan Humor, and
hey, man, it's the ever so clever, the man with many endeavors, Mr. About Dale Time. What's going on, G? What's popping?
You know that. I mean, we at the end, bro. We made it. We made it through another one. I feel
Nigga, we made it.
We made it, man. We made it to another one. Made it all the way through. It's been a wild year. Ready for what's next. And yeah, man, we just gonna take it from there. What about yourself? What you got popping?
It's been good, man. We are, like you said, man, it's approaching the end. So you just got preparation for the next for the next first quarter that's coming in. It's like a new season, baby. You just start getting ready for the first quarter, start balling up, you know what I'm saying? You start doing your stretches, getting the ankles right, you know what I'm saying? About to play a little bit harder, run a little bit faster, you know how it is.
Okay. Well, I mean, with that, I'm saying obviously because me and you have a show and we have dedicated listeners, and a lot of these people have been tuning in for the last 3 years. Some just started in this year. Shout out to y'all that just started.
Thank you.
Me and Dale did a good job of trying to give y'all some goals we have for last year, some breakdowns. We may give y'all all the goals, might give y'all a couple of them, but a lot of people don't do this, right? So me, Dale, one of our contributors, S. Walton, we've all read this book called Atomic Habits. There's one thing in this book that says what gets measured gets managed, right? Mm-hmm. So when you write stuff and you have ideas and tasks and outcomes, if you don't measure it, it's not going to get managed. So I say all that to say, me and About Dale Time, we're going to jump into some of our stuff we had planned for this year. We're going to tell y'all how it came out. And then we're going to go into the next year. We're going to talk about some unexpected things happening this year. We're going to talk about some predictable things. We're going to talk about some more stuff from the book. We're going to help y'all put together your own brand new identity going forward to 2023. So Dale, man, let me know what you had planned, what worked out, what didn't work out. Let me know, bro. Let me know. Tell the people.
I mean, for this 2022, man, the plans were of course. I felt like I made sure to keep my plans doable. So I was able to get a lot done. I felt like one of the biggest things that I was able to do was become a homeowner. That was definitely a big plan for me to get from out of the renting, just cycle, just continue to go to a new apartment, just continuing to give up this lump sum of money and not really seeing much in return for it. So that was one big thing. Completing school was my second big applaud right there. Made me feel really accomplished. Something that I had in the making for many years, and for me to actually be able to get that degree and feel a sense of accomplishment for film school, that was huge for me. So I feel really good about being able to make that accomplishment. That was another check mark of one of my goals that I had for set forth for myself in a year. One thing that I felt like I really found myself doing, and it was more like an internal goal, but it was just getting control of my emotions. I felt like, just having more emotional control was something that I really accomplished this year. Being able to, I felt like I'm very much of an expressive person. So there are times where I may actually Ryan gets on me a lot and says, he gonna say exactly, which is great, for a lot of different things. But in some cases, it's best to kind of keep yourself at a more, emotional control. Like that's the best way I can identify it. It's just being someone that had emotional control, being someone that can even from work, whether it's dealing with your partner, whether it's dealing with your friends, no matter what, just being able to control your emotion, not leash out, not get ready to give your opinion or give so much, totally listening, being able to express yourself and say it in a way that can be reflective to the next person. So that was something that was huge for me, that I felt like that was a goal that I really had. And I felt like I see myself really, really having a lot of progress on that goal. And then the last one, man, is just having a baby on the way. It was a goal that I definitely had last year. So just being able to successfully get that goal out of the way, it was something that I really wanted to do. because I didn't want to get too old and start thinking about having a child. So I was just like, man, like I really want to get it in this particular age time, in this particular time frame, so that way it'll feel like it'll feel more like a vibe, or it'll feel more like I'll still have the youth, I guess I'll say, to deal with an infant. But other than that, man, like there are some goals that I definitely wish I did accomplish, and I just look at, and some of those goals are just being able to like make healthier life choices. I felt like I do go to the gym. I'm highly active at the gym, and that's great. You know, being at the gym, doing all of that shit, working out, you know, going to play hoop, all of that stuff is great. But having a routine of going to the gym, having a different eating routine, being able to make the healthier choice over the bad choices. Like you be with someone that's like nachos or salad, niggas, nachos, niggas. So like it's just being able to have that control enough to make the healthier lifestyle. That was really something goals. Like I really wanted to kind of like lean off the red meat a lot. I wanted to really like be more have more dietary control, like having more things like, okay, I'm gonna eat fish. I'm gonna make sure I don't eat out this year. Things like that. Like I didn't do well at that. I felt like if anything, I didn't even see much of a result of me doing some of the things like not like some of the things that imply with that too, I would say was also not ordering out for food. And that was one of the goals that I had in my life, and that I felt like, oh man, if anything, I did more ordering out than I was supposed to do. You know, like I am getting to a point of like now it's like, okay, I'm gonna start cooking again, and I do cook and I do things, but there are times where I'm like, man, I should have really be like, fuck, I'm lazy. I want to just get this food. I want to get this meal. But sometimes I got to be in my mind like, it ain't gonna take that long to hook some shit up and just really get that meal done and get it in and eat a little bit more healthier.
Is the app on your phone?
The app is on my phone. So I know deleting the app, there's things that I had to do. Like, and I started early, like I had the pass, like the DoorDash pass. So I was really about this life. And then you make excuses. So a lot of things I was doing was making excuses for myself, where I would say, oh, you know, I'm doing this because, like I said, one, be lazy. The next one to be like, well, we just moving. I don't feel like cooking. I got to thaw it out. I got to do this. It's like, but if you just have a little bit more organization, which would be my next thing that I felt like I really didn't accomplish this year that I really wanted to, was being more organized. And organization just in general, I felt like is something that can structure my life a lot more to actually inspire these other end goals. So that's the biggest thing that I feel like is the main goal I didn't hit was organization. Because with the organization, if I would start organizing my life and start building a routine, then things would change. So you eat healthy. Like, hey, I'm going to have this I'm going to plan for these things. I'm going to go grocery shopping every 5 days, because in these 5 days, I'm going to know exactly what I'm going to need. It's kind of like a lot of times what we do so much with finances, but sometimes you got to be able to incorporate those particular financial hacks into your actual healthy life. So those are some things that I do definitely wish I would have been a little bit more active on. I don't feel like it hurt me a lot, but I definitely feel like it didn't help me as much as I wanted it to, and it didn't get me to the goals that I felt like I really wanted to reach.
I feel that when I randomly quit DoorDash or Uber Eats, like randomly during the year, I delete all my credit cards from it and then delete it from my phone. And it'd be a time where I'll be like, it'd be after a show, I'll be at a hotel and I'll be like hungry and I'll sign on. But it's a lot of work, because the thing is you can like, you order the food because you're lazy, but depending on how much stuff you got to do to defeat your laziness, you won't do it. So it's like, if you have a lazy, like, I don't feel like cooking, like, I'm going to just download the app. With my credit card on here, wait, nigga, I said I wasn't going to do this no more.
Yep.
but if you can open the app and they be like, this is the last thing you ordered. Like, oh, I want that. It's that simple.
It's that easy.
So, and that's in the book as well. The guy talks about how
that's clear.
The guy talks about how there was a professor that he had a bad habit of eating popcorn at night by his bed. So he took it downstairs and put it in his cabinet. If he really, really wanted it, then you go downstairs and you go get it. I forget what the
Yeah.
chapter is called, but he references a writer from a long time ago that was procrastinating on like writing a novel, and he was a really flamboyant guy, and he had his secretary just lock all of his clothes in a different room, so he didn't have no clothes. He just butt naked, right. And he didn't have no clothes, so couldn't leave the house. So if he really wanted to leave the house, he had his lady give him clothes or whatever, but he ended up writing the novel and getting it done. So a lot of times it's not bad to make things harder for yourself.
Yeah.
So people may find that like, oh, well, that's not gonna make a difference. Nigga, that shit will definitely make a difference. It's like if you park somewhere, it's different. It's a difference between leaving your house when you got a garage versus leaving your house when you don't got a garage. Huge difference. huge difference. So I mean, simple things like that. But man, congratulations. I mean, hopefully you found a new way of getting those things measured for the next year. I mean, we'll get into that a little bit later. But I'll go over what I have for 2022, man. I had 10 things that I've written down. Actually, This is actually from, it looks like this is actually from 1/12/22. It was pay off 12K in debt. I paid off 10. The goal was to run 180 miles last year. I had a hip situation, so I only got 42 miles in last year. I wanted to perform at 100 mics. I got on stage 92 times this year. I wanted to get paid for 30 shows. I exceeded the 30 shows. The goal was to save 20K. I saved 10. Move out of Northern California. Didn't happen. Book 4 commercials. Didn't happen. Get down to 190. Didn't happen. Read 4 books. I read 3 books. I read The Power of Awareness, obviously Atomic Habits, and The Alchemist. Anyone that isn't like a big reader or isn't like a reading enthusiast, if you can read one of those next year, you'll learn something. Whether it's Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, or James Clear's Atomic Habits. Read one of those 3. So, I mean, that's what I have for. That's what I did for last year. I tracked all this stuff like all throughout the year. Like, I was logging in, checking in, seeing how things were going or whatever, just see where things were at. Because again, if it's not measured, it's not going to be managed. So I'll get into some of the adjustments for that going a little bit further. But what I was really happy with was, I think that whenever you want to do something, like the year is long, and we do this. I don't really think the resolutions are more or less outcomes, right? So we're in these situations where it's like we have to do these things, but they come every month, right? There's 12 of these things. All you have to do, you guys listen at home, all you got to do is track that shit at the end of the month. Right. Like Dale or homie Dev will tell you, like, when you're tracking your money at the end of the week, just write down what you spent. Like, you tracking your food, just track it. But once you get all the way into May, you be like, it's too late to track it. It's not. It's not. The year gonna happen anyway. So these ain't even resolutions. These are outcomes, man. We talk about outcomes here. We're not talking about goals. We're not talking about getting somewhere. I'm talking about outcome. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen outside of that. We'll get to that a little bit later. Dell, I want to ask you now, what was the most predictable thing that happened with 2022? This could be for you. This could be for the streets. It could be for whatever. But what was the most predictable?
Man, I feel like I got a few. So can I name my few? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, man, I got Kim and Pete Davidson being done. I felt like that was hella predictable. I felt like people knew that shit was going to happen. I felt like people didn't want it to happen, but it was something that I felt like I just knew that shit was going to happen. And that's why I think it was predictable to me. I'll say that's more predictable to me. Okay. But I just felt like I knew that shit was going to happen.
Okay.
Rap niggas getting locked up. That's hella predictable. Like, I felt niggas? Just not even, but it don't even got to be no particular niggas. I just felt like the streets knew some rap nigga going to get locked up over.
Like Tory and Thug?
Not even, Thug, Gunna, niggas was gonna be snitching. Like, that shit just so predictable. That shit happens every year. And then people being outside no matter what, like COVID, like it's hella it's just hella Omicron, it's hella shit. Like, I just knew niggas was gonna be like, fuck this shit. Like, 2 years y'all had us locked down. I just knew niggas was gonna be like outside. People wasn't gonna be waiting. They wasn't gonna be looking around for nothing. People wasn't gonna care. People was gonna be out there masks off. And then the other last thing is just gas was gonna go up. I just felt like that shit. We just knew that shit was gonna happen anyway. Like, that's all they needed to do to us anyway. Is like, you know what? Y'all won't stay in the house. Y'all supposed to not passing this virus. Here it is, gas being higher. So like, Nah, I know it's more to it, but definitely those are some of the few that I had. Nothing too crazy. I mean, it's a lot, but like it ain't nothing too. I feel like it's a lot more unpredictable shit than anything.
Okay. All right. These are my most predictable. These are my most predictable. My most predictable was Kanye flipping out, right? Him just flipping out. It's on schedule. It's about time.
Yep.
Him flipping out. It's on schedule, right? The next thing I thought that was most predictable was the crypto crash. That shit was incredibly predictable because it was too many niggas getting money. And when it's too many niggas getting money. The thing is like this. It's like crypto will like, let's say it like this. If crypto was Drake, right? PPP loans was J. Cole. So PPP loans was the underground crypto, right? So if the PPP loans, niggas start going to jail for that because it ain't free money. The crypto was bound to go away too. It was just too many niggas getting money. Hella predictable. Hella predictable. In fact, crypto is so like I bought crypto in 2017.
Right.
I was with Brian. I was with B, and he was just telling me about it because he had some bread from playing poker. I bought it, right, and it was just going up. I forgot even how to check. I was like, "Oh, that's cool. That's how much I bought." Crypto is back. Crypto's back to the price it was when I bought it in 2017. It's 16,000. At one point, the shit was 60. I'm logging like, oh, it's a whole mountain. It just went up and went down. I'm like. And I was like, oh, I should have bought more. No, I shouldn't. It's just the same.
I did the right.
So, and that's not even, I didn't even put hella bread in there, just a little something because FOMO. And this was 2017. But I thought that was pretty predictable. The last thing I thought was very predictable. I knew this was coming since late 2020. Inflation. Like I knew inflation was coming badly, like incredibly badly. Because it's when we was doing these shows and talking about PPPs and they send out extra money for unemployment, the government just dumping out all this bread and like bailing out the airlines, just giving everybody loot. I'm like, yo, so this is going to lead to things being more expensive later. Like you can't just give everybody money. It just makes things more expensive.
Right.
You can't, because
that's the same thing that Bush did. That's what Bush did back in.
Yeah, when he sent this a little stimulus or whatever, like we're gonna send everybody 50 to 150, like and then this time around, Biden sent out 1,500, and that's cool. Like kept people afloat during that time. But the more money that you put inside of that, and the people that say things like, "Oh, well, the companies are just raising prices so that they could just make more money." Yeah, and we desperately wanted to pay everybody that work at McDonald's $16.50. That's what we wanted to do. So now sausage McMuffin costs $4.35. Also, if everything costs the same amount, we gonna run out of shit.
Right.
Like you gonna run out of stuff. So you gotta raise the prices. That's how it goes. So this was hella predictable. I was like, when is inflation finna kick in? It's about to get ugly for everybody. Then it kicked in. And then that's where we at, man. Let me know what was very unpredictable for you.
Unpredictable, I'm gonna start with Will Smith slapping the shit out of Chris Rock. That was the most unpredictable thing that happened in 2022. Nobody saw it coming. It was so unseen coming that Chris Rock didn't even see that shit coming. Nobody saw it coming. And it's going to be a little bit of a small one, but the Dolphins #2 in the AFC East.
For real?
Yeah. Like that's kind of unpredictable. Like that's unexpected. All right. And then this Megan whole Tory deal, bro. Like that shit is just wild. Like kind of didn't know it was going to swing that way. I didn't know Kelsey was going to come in there talking about fifth, plead the fifth, all of that shit. I felt like those were just like some wild shit that just happened. It's a lot more. And I mean, of course, you got like hurricanes that then hit. You got people out here dying in like frozen in.
Niggas die every day, B.
Every day, B. But like, I don't know, man. Just those three things right there, man. They seem pretty unexpected, bro. What do you have?
Okay, let me tell you what I had, and I'm gonna tell you how much of a dumpster fire the United States are. No, I'll do this. This is not on my list. The Buffalo shooting, not on my list. Not on my list at all. Right. And the Uvalde shooting, not on my list. Yeah. On my list. Just
because those things, to be honest with you, those might as well just been with predictable things because like, oh,
horrible though, bro.
Shoot, but we don't want to say that, but it's like that's literally what it should probably be with like a school shooting, unfortunately, probably predictable that shit's gonna happen. Because why? Because of how the life is. How life is.
How life is.
I don't even got no example, just how life is, nigga. That's why.
All right. This is what I have. I actually have four. My first one is that Stockton had a black serial killer. That shit was crazy.
Okay. Yeah,
was real solid. Man, Kevin Samuels died, bro. Kevin Samuels died. Single Divine, man. R.I.P. to GOAT. He's real dope. Russia kidnapped Brittany Griner, bro. Yeah. Like, I understand. I understand like why they kidnapped her. Like, I get it. Like, I understand the political like theory behind it and why they had to make that move. But come on, cuz. Like, I mean, bro, like, what happened to like women and children? Like, get off the boat on the Titanic and the men. Like, that's that to me. Even though a lot of people, including myself, like, should understood what happened, I still think that's wrong, right? Like, I know like all's fair in love and war at the same time, but like y'all couldn't kidnap somebody else. Like, it's just a whole ass WNBA woman. But I get it because they got a terrorist back, so I understand. I just don't think like it's like Bowser kidnapping the princess, right? But all Mario got to do is go fight him. He don't got to go like break out Wario and release Wario for the princess. You know what I mean?
They should have got Drake instead. They should have got Drake instead.
It would be more fair. I mean, because he's not even American, so we don't even. I was gonna ask you. Nah, we wouldn't. I don't know. I mean, I get it, but that caught me off guard. And then lastly, bro, I'm not gonna hold you like this. I'm not gonna hold you. One of the most unpredictable things to me in 2022 was the Warriors winning the championship. That shit don't make no sense to me. Like, I don't really understand.
They came out of nowhere with that shit. That was actually on my list as well, but then I just didn't say it. But yeah, that was, I don't know, we pulled through on that shit.
I can't say like I knew it since day one. I can't say none of that. I
can't even say that shit.
I can't say none of that. But the thing is, like, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this quick question. Do you know how many kids got shot at the Uvalde shooting?
Wasn't it 7? It was like 7 kids, right? 7 or 8.
21 people died.
But you said how many kids got shot?
Died. Yeah. So like, so 19 students and 2 teachers. So,
oh, okay. Yeah, wow.
So 21 people died. And we just like, I mean, but I get you, like, it's not predictable, but like, it's not unpredictable.
It's not unpredictable. It's not, listen to me.
That's
right?
Horrible. It's just neutral. It's like, neutral now.
Yeah, it's neutral. It's because listen to me. It's the evil that's out there. It's the evil that's out there. It happens. It's like you said it best when I was getting ready to say like people be dying. That's something that's going on right now. Like somebody dying in an actual in the freezing of in Buffalo right now. People are dying in Buffalo right now. Yeah. Like it's that cold right now, right? But you just said it best. Like people die every day, B. Like that's how it is. People shoot schools up. Almost like that shit happens so often. Like that shit would be more shocking back in like 96.
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately.
No, literally, because when the Columbine kids ran up in like 99 or 2000, that shit was on the news for hella long. It was one of those, it's so cold. It's so cold, right? When the Columbine thing happened, it was so cold. It was one of those things that was like, I don't know about how y'all felt at Manteca High.
Magnitude, we didn't even understand what was happening. Right. Like, kind of like when 9/11 happened when we were younger. I was like, what? What are you? I was like, I don't get it. And then, like a few years later, I'm like, wait. Oh, they took airport. Wait, what? Like, did you see? I don't believe it. But like, now I think these kids are like, oh, they shoot up the schools again? Yeah, it happened down the street the other day. Like, for real?
That's right. That's how we live in. That's how we live in, because a lot of the violence is I feel like we see it so often now. So it doesn't shock you. It doesn't shock you no more. We see it so often, like you said. It's like, turn on the news, it's like, this school, like, it was a point. I felt like it was a point where, like, sometime around this year, it felt like it was multiple public shootings that were happening. Like, every time you turned around, it's like, this public shooting happened. This happened. this happened. So it was just like, now that shit's like, and no offense, but I'm not even, damn, I don't want to downplay it like this, but it's almost like motherfucking stole a car in San Francisco. Like, that's fucked up.
You know what it's like. No, I'll tell you exactly what it's like. I seen a nigga. Oh, I was coming back to Richmond today. And I see how literally, like, I know niggas got jokes about this happening. People got jokes about this happening in the Bay Area. I only seen it happen one time in the city when I was like a fifth grader. But I literally seen a nigga shitting in the street. Literally seen it.
That's a good point.
And I was like, and I was like, well, you don't see that every day. And just
kept him pushing. Because what else can you do? What else can you do? Like, are you gonna like, oh my God, sir? Like, no, you're not gonna do anything. You're gonna keep it pushing. That's what happens. And like you said, the exact words. You don't see that every day. And just keep it moving.
And then just keep going about your day though.
That's fucked up. It's fucked up, B. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. It's like how you scrolling and they show you this kid, you know, looking deformed or something like that. And they be like, this person didn't get no likes after graduating high school. And you just, oh, damn, and just keep scrolling right on up. Like, you just keep going. I
mean, that's how it will be on Twitter. On Twitter, somebody would get popped. I think somebody stole an airplane this year too.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that's actually, wow. That's a good point.
Because you'll be on Twitter. The thing is, like, you'll be on Twitter scrolling, right? And if there's a shooting, you open up and see how many people died. See if they still counting bodies. Like when the Buffalo shooting happened, dude murked 10 people. It was a white dude shot up a black grocery store. They was like, it's a racial crime. But nah, he just crazy. Like, he killed 10 people. It don't matter what color they are. He killed 10 people. All right. And then Uvalde happened. It's like, oh, damn, he went in there and 21 people. Damn, that's crazy. And this kid out all his money. He was depressed. Damn, that's crazy. Whatever. You scroll through. But like when they niggas stole the airplane, we was all on Twitter. Like me and my Twitter homies, we was on there. I'm not gonna say Twitter homies like I know anybody, just people that I be in a circle.
Nah, you be having Twitter homies.
We scrolling through. Oh, shout out to my homies. Shout out to the Ryan group. I'm in the Twitter group, a group chat. Everybody named Ryan.
Like that's tight. That's tight. But I was wondering if y'all had something like that going on. That's tight.
Yeah, man. I got invited to it. It's called the League of Ryans. It's kind of solid. Gang. But when dudes stole the airplane, we like, oh, everybody strolling through. Like people want Facebook trying to find this picture because it's weird. Like somebody stole a plane. That's cool. We don't know what happened to him. We want to know what happened. You don't see that every day. But a shooting, as Rico would say, pull your skirt down, eh? Niggas get shot every day, B.
Pull your skirt down, eh? Niggas get shot every day, B. Yeah, ain't on that nigga too.
I'm just eating chips in his face. Man, let me ask you, let me have you go ahead and explain to the listeners why you wanted to magnify and take time for the identity topic within Atomic Habits. Say what that means to you and you let them know what we're about to do for them right now.
Oh man, great. Thank you for that. So Atomic Habits, man, we've been talking about it pretty much this whole episode, but it's definitely a great book and definitely a great read. One of the chapters in Atomic Habits happens to talk about identifiers and how identifiers can help you, with your habits, how having some goals to be certain, to identify yourself a certain way may actually give you cues in order for your habit to actually have that response. So you may have that craving to actually go after that reward that you may want to be. So I wanted to talk to Ryan about this, and we just kind of give ourselves a nice, since we are talking about the new year, we are talking about all of these new things that come around. What are some identifiers we want to see ourselves? Because what are some things that you typically want to identify going into 2023? What are some things that, and even you guys in the chat, I want to hear you guys as well. But I'm asking Ryan right now. So tell me, Ryan, like your list can go as long as it's like, what are some identifiers that you feel like you really want to partake in going into 2023?
Great lead in, man. Great lead. I want to preface this by saying that this is a really interesting direction to go in, because when we were younger, we used to all hoop, and we used to hoop, but our whole group would hoop, and we would all be dressed like AI. So as dressing like AI, and then you living with a pastor, all of us would have on what would Jesus do wristbands, right? Correct. So a lot of this chapter is about, some people say fake it till you make it, but then on the other end, it's what would Jesus do? right? So what you want to, it's fake it till you make it, and it's what would Jesus do? So what would the person that you want to be do? Like, what would they do, right? So when Dale's like, well, I got to get more organized. Okay, well, what would like organized Dale do?
Right.
What would it look like if I was organized? And I love I really like the chapter as well. And if anyone just read the book, that's in the beginning, and it kind of walks you through building this identity. Yep. It's not a self-help book. It's not a cult book. It's a strategy book. Check it out, people. It's outstanding. But yeah, that's what I want to do. One thing I really struggled with, like while we were close and I couldn't do any shows, I really didn't consider myself like a bona fide comedian because I wasn't performing, right? And even though like you and Tariq would say, "Oh, you're a comedian," like you're a comedian. I'm like, nah, but I'm not performing. I'm not on those shows, so I'm not. Ain't no mics open. So once I started getting on stage and mics opened up mid 2021, I was like, okay, I feel like I'm a comedian again. I'm okay with this identity. I feel good about it. So because I'm okay with that, and that's a forever thing. Where I'm at right now is like, now that I'm back running, I want to be considered a runner. I want to be considered a runner. Like when I'm out, when I talk to people, it happened a little bit in 2021. I was working out with one of my good friends. I ran earlier that day and I went to go lift with him. He's like, man, you be running like you were running. I can't do all that. I'm like, oh, I'm a runner now. So I want to be like labeled as like, oh, you be running. Right.
Right.
Another thing I want to be labeled as, it's going to be like it's going to be the best, one of the best body years of my life. I want to be considered jacked or ripped. Like, I want people to see me and be like, this nigga's ripped. Like, clothes on. This nigga ripped. This nigga jacked. Like, that's what I want it to look like. Another thing I have is I want to be labeled as an actor. One of my goals last year was to book 4 commercials. I didn't get to it. I did take a commercial class. I took some training, but I did not actually book a commercial. But I want to be labeled as that. I'm not only like comedian, but also actor. And I also want to be labeled as writer as well. And one of my goals, I'll go over a little bit later, I have a goal where I want to go ahead and start uploading articles to Medium monthly. Medium is basically a all-encompassing blog website where writers upload, whether it's short stories, poems, opinion pieces, op-eds, whatever, and you can go in and read them. It shows how long the read is, and it's just it's a platform for like writers to get their stuff out there. And I want to actually upload that so that I can be published elsewhere. So jacked, runner, actor, writer. And the writing thing is important to me because a lot of what I do on stage is fun. However, I also do enjoy building ideas for other people. So like one of my heroes is like Deon Cole because he acts, he does stand-up, and he writes, and he's in commercials, and he's in movies. He's a spokesman for Old Spice. He wrote for the Conan O'Brien show. He does stand-up. He's on Blackish. Like, what can you like? So I have an all-encompassing idea of what this looks like for me based on like some of these movements. So those are the 4 I have. And when I talk about the goals a little bit later, I have pathways to get to like those 4 things. So go ahead, good brother. Is that clear?
No, man, that was perfect. I love that, man. I love how you gave a little bit of a breakdown as well into why these goals are meant, like why you choose to try to manifest these particular identifiers or these particular goals. So man, let me get into it, man. One of the first things I had on mind is to be a good partner to my wife, a reliable comfort, someone that she can confide in, someone that she can trust to give honest feedback, but also be receptive to any criticism that she needs to provide to me. And just be a good listener, being someone that can consistently learn from your partner and consistently be someone that can educate and help lead your partner so that you guys can both be driven. So that's definitely one of my high goals. A father, man. I didn't put good father, great father, but just simply I want to be a father, someone that my child can, someone that my child can always rely on, but also someone who can teach my child that it's important to not always worry about having someone to rely on, but knowing you can make it on yourself as well. Giving the tools, more so giving the tools to my child so that when they're out in the world, they'll be able to to make wise choices. Not saying every time, oh, I'm in trouble, gotta call dad. Oh, I'm in trouble, I gotta call mom. You know what I'm saying? Someone that can say, oh, wise enough to make those wise choices, things that be strategic in that sort of manner. Mm-hmm. A healthy person, I talked about this a little bit earlier, but someone who just makes that, like you said, you with your lead in, you said, what would Jesus do? Yes, that's what I want to be. As a healthy person, I want to be someone who makes those decisions to say, oh, man, like I want to have apples instead of, going with the mango pie or blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Just something that I want to be able to do. I want to, hey, man, I don't want to smoke right now. I want to, chill, man. I want to actually go running right now. I want to go and instead of waking up and having bacon and eggs, because sometimes I'm gonna specify to myself. Sometimes what I would do is I'll tend to say, oh, I'm eating turkey bacon instead of regular pork bacon. It don't matter. It's unhealthy. You know what I'm saying? I might as well eat something that's going to be healthy, whether it's like a shake or something like that, to make those healthier options, which I do like to shake. So that's not a problem. But I'm just saying, though, just being able to be consecutive with those particular healthy habits. An organized person, mentioned this earlier as well, that this is one thing that I really want to do in my life. And I feel like it connects to so many other of my goals. Because being an organized person, not just because I'm organized in a way, but organization goes to a different type of level in a lot of ways. Like being organized at work. Some people are organized in life, but maybe they're not organized at work. Maybe they don't go in every morning and read all their emails. Maybe they don't go in every morning and actually have like rules set in so that certain emails are like directed to certain folders that maybe you don't need to read because they don't have any value, but it just lessens out your particular inbox. Being able as an editor to actually organize and have all of my particular, files all organized to the point where when I'm making a video, I can easily just go to each file and know exactly where those particular assets are, so that I can quickly make my video a lot faster and a lot more concise. Organization of just being, because now going into this new role as a parent, being organizing in life to be able to say, oh, I'm not just scatterbrained on where things are or how things are, or where, oh, the child needs this, but I don't know where it's at. Now I'm all scatterbrained, but just knowing how to put things back, knowing how to like be on top of things, being organized in your closet, little things like that. Because I feel like sometimes I get up and I'm like, I have gym clothes that ain't in the right spot. I've got it mixed in. So now when I go and I wash clothes, I'm just putting clothes and folding clothes and putting them into different layers instead of actually separating them like I used to do, where I would separate my clothes and have a different segregated amount of clothes. But just being organized in general, I just want to be someone that's identified as organized. And then also to be labeled as a creator. A lot of times I know that's so vague in a sense of like, well, what do you want to create? What do you want to do? But as a creator, like I want to be able to actually like take the footage that I do have, be able to put that footage together and actually like put things out more consecutively, actually studying, being able to put in and continue to take advantage of having knowledge instead of watching junk on YouTube or junk on anything, being wise enough to pull up something that's going to say, oh, let me watch this video that's going to be more related to the craft that I'm trying to sharpen. So those are the things that help you be creative and putting those tasks, not just, hoarding those tasks, but actually like making sure they're output, like putting them out, whether it's just trying different things and just seeing how it works. And then the last thing I want to do is just someone who meditates. I want to be able to get my mind a lot more strong. I want to have a stronger mindset. I want to be someone that can kind of like be able to really hone within and just be able to own the day out and really like alleviate a lot of like I don't want to say, because I don't ever have no negative thoughts, but just more so just the chaos in the world, just more so just being able to kind of alleviate that, being able to meditate at least 5 to 7 days. And then, the last thing I want to do is be a fluent Spanish speaker. That's the last thing I want to do. Identify as a fluent Spanish speaker, someone who can fluently speak Spanish. I've always had that goal, and
so
I feel
officially bilingual, like officially off the rip.
like just gotta be there. And that's my last thing, man. I'm sorry that was a little long winded, but
just no problem at all. Those are solid identifiers. You got creator, father, a healthy person, meditator, bilingual. What else?
And then a creator. You said a creator, a healthy father, a healthy organized person.
Organized person.
And then the last thing, of course, is just to be fit. I just feel like, as we getting there in age, I just want to like relieve some of these aching bones and stuff like that, but just being able to stretch more of like, if I say fit, more just someone flexible. I want to be flexible again. Like low key, I want to be able to not hurt when I do a certain stretch. Like,
is that part of being a healthy person though? Does that fit into that, or is that different?
I feel like it fits into it, but you can be healthy. Because I feel like being healthy.
I'm not talking about that Lizzo all-encompassing body.
No. I'm not talking about that either. Hear me out though. I'm saying in one way of healthiness, you can be like some people may see healthy as because there's different levels to being healthy. Somebody could be like, yo, I'm healthy. I'm healthy because I did like getting healthy to me is just being able to walk once a day. That might really be true. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I'm saying for myself, one thing that like, it don't really, I feel like I can stretch, I can touch my ankles, I can do all the shit, but there are certain things I can't do that I feel like I wish I could do better. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to say, I don't know if that's healthy. I just want to be somebody who identifies as being able to stretch a lot more efficiently. Like, that's it. I don't know.
So what I implore you to do is find the label for that, because the key is the identity, right? So if just somebody that in the list of like 11 words, that's not going to give you an identity. So you got to figure out what that word. I think the word may be like limber. Limber. But you got to find out what like the specific word is. If it's flexible, cool, but that'll help you get closer to the goal if it can be specific. But hey, man, more power to you. Those sound solid to me.
Yeah,
those sound solid enough, man. I mean, what are your targets, outcomes, tasks that you have for the year, the 3 to 5 that are going to get 3 to 6, whatever you got, that are going to get you to those things?
Well, I mean, first one is just getting more organized. And I started doing that, just small things like having a schedule, having something to live by, even if like actually outlining what your day is going to look like, using your day like it's time. A lot of times with work, I do this where I'll write out like what my priorities are, and then I'll label them like whether they're big, medium, small, right? So now I need to do that within my normal day, like starting off, like actually being able to have a schedule to get you going. The next thing I would say is just consumption of marijuana. I was able to prove to myself last year or this upcoming year that I need to smoke. I'm not going to need to smoke in the future. So I feel like not being able to smoke is going to allow me to move forward with kind of like lack of enthusiasm, because that's really what a lot of times smoking does. Smoking to be like, well, nigga, I'm not going to do what I was going to do. It doesn't help anything. Like, I was supposed to go in there and go do this video. I was supposed to go in here and clean up this. I was supposed to go but do that. And like the old song, because I got high, you start not doing shit. Right. So I know that that's going to be some of the things that help me get to that goal. That's really going to help with a lot of the organization, because if I start placing things as tasks or activities that I have that will relieve me from smoking weed, then I already know that'll help me with being able to get more of the things that I procrastinate on done. So that's the biggest thing that I want to do, is stop procrastinating. And then just meditating a day, actually setting things on my phone to actually like alert me that, hey man, take a moment for your time to actually meditate, and just being in having that accountability, setting it and looking at your schedule realistically, like looking at your schedule, like looking at my schedule to a point of, okay, do I have this open slot to actually take this minute? What do I need to do in this particular minute? Sometimes I feel like that's a big deal too. It's not actually setting the time up, like giving myself, as the book would say, great cues and then setting myself up to be able to fulfill my craving with actual like having, with actual good response that'll actually fulfill the reward. So just little things like that. So I don't know if I'm explaining this well. The way you looking at me, I feel like
no. I mean, this is the way that you're choosing to explain how you're going to get organized. Like this is. I mean, I'm listening. Nigga, what do you mean to say?
It's just the way you was looking at me. Like, they was like, "Yeah, nigga, yeah, all right, no, go ahead."
No, I mean, it's not. I mean, obviously, it's still something. It's still something that you're working through, and you're going to find out like what's more specific, what's going to work for you. I have a bunch of suggestions, but you're going to work through it on your own. We read the same book. I'm not going to tell you what I saw in like the last 40 YouTube videos I've been watching the last like couple months. I mean, you'll figure it out on your own. You already know that you should probably wake up at the same time every day and get the most important thing started. Like, that. So it's just, it's the implementation. So do you? Yeah. It sounds like you got yourself a plan.
No, let me be more concise on my plan, because I feel like I don't like the way you said that. So, let me tell you. No. So things that I'm going to do in order for me to be successful at my goals. You're right. I'm going to be able to wake up earlier. Some things to do with waking up earlier, that starts me to be able to take those times to actually take in the earlier of my moment, instead of getting up right away. Start by drinking water. Start by meditating. Start by being able to then clear my day, clear my head, and be able to approach my day with a lot more, with a lot more energy and a lot more efficiency. Start by being able to schedule 3 runs a week, because it's not about just playing basketball, but actually taking advantage of building my circuit workouts and continue to do my circuit workouts, whether it's at the gym or whether it's at home, and being able to put 2 of those days in the gym like I used to, easy in, and just actually having that scheduled in. So now with the dismiss of no longer having school, it's about making those particular areas that now I have this extra time and energy to use to do that. So things I would do now is instead of going to the gym and just hooping, go to the gym and actually work out. When I wake up in the morning, actually have a breakfast made, actually make a menu of how you're going to plan out the week of how you're going to eat, not necessarily being able to have meal planning, but being able to know what meals and what vegetables and things like that you're going to buy to actually fulfill how you're going to collab on your food. Using things like Fitness Pal, in order to actually use that to actually see what my intake is in for food. And so that way it'll keep me wise on how much food I'm using. Continuing to actually drink more water throughout the day. That'll keep me on my health. As far as being a creator, soon as I'm done with videos, one of the things I want to stop doing is procrastinating. Immediately edit them, have my things organized, and have certain bins that are organized, so I'm able to immediately put a video together and immediately put it out. Being conscious about how I do videos, making them vertical videos and putting those out so that way they'll be more on social media. Using the footage that I currently have and continuing to edit that and currently put that footage out. And just, of course, like being a good father, continue to read books, strengthen myself, watch a lot of these videos, make sure I take my parenting classes, things like that. For my wife, the things that I do and the things I've been doing is just being a better listener, being someone that can listen to my wife and understand where she's coming from. And then instead of immediately going in with my own type of thought process, try to come at it a perspective for her. And it's the same way that I deal with anyone in general, whether it's work, friendships, relationships, anything that's going on right now. Just having more of an open mind and being able to take the patience to understand what they're coming from and then try to respond with something that they'll be receptive to.
Cool, man. Cool. I mean, it sounds like it's like I said, it sounds like you got to figure it out. You all set. You all set. What I'd highly recommend, I haven't used Fitness Pal, but I use Lose It. And Lose It, if you really use the app, it does this dope thing where it'll detect patterns. So like I track all my shakes, right? And then Lose It would be like, yo, we noticed that when you have this shake, you consume less calories. Lose It, I scan my salmon I eat. They're like, yo, when you eat this salmon, you notice that you consume less calories. When you consume blueberries, you notice you consume less calories. Yeah. So like if you actually like go through it with like using that app, that's the type of stuff where those are the type of things where if you're proactive about it, it'll prevent your laziness, right? So if you log all your food and then you have to log it every time you order it, before you go to order DoorDash, you're gonna be like, I'm gonna have to log this burrito into this. I'm not gonna order it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna order it. And if anyone out there does use this app, log it every single time you eat. Even on and this is the thing, like a lot of people only log their sexy days. Log the bad days too. Because when you log the bad days, you can get full amounts of data. Like you start logging it and you be like, oh, I'm over my 1,600 calories. Log all that shit. Log the shots, log the wine, log your meth, log all of it. Because by the end of the week, you could see like the numbers you went over, the numbers you went under, and you can actually find out your patterns. Like them on Wednesday, should be wilding. Well, should you be windy on Wednesday? That's why you be wilding the fuck out. So anyone that is going forward and like using that app for like the new year, be sure to log your bad days. That's where you get some of the best data.
When I was on it tough, sorry to interrupt. When I was on it tough, honestly, man, it was, and I'm saying this for Fitness Pal, but I'm sure I feel like even with the app you were referencing, I feel like it's for any of those. But when you're on it tough, just because of the fact you're actually just seeing what you're intaking, you know what I mean? It just helps so much more. Because when I was on it tough, honestly, I felt the best. I felt, and I mean, that's even with someone, you just feel less sluggish because you're actually like, you're really watching the food that you're taking.
Right. You're
really seeing what's going in. So, like I said, I don't think I'm unhealthy, but I just think that like, I want to get to a point where health is never going to be a past tense. Like, I don't want to look at it as like past tense because you see a lot of these guys around these ages now, they getting hurt, and I just don't want to be one of those guys.
You want to be like, health is one of those things where you're not being fit is one of those things where don't think of like a light. It's not on or off. Like a light switch is more like dim or bright, like a dimmer switch. Exactly. So you're never off. It's a lifetime thing. You'll have the body for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go into these 8 I have. I actually have a lot. I spent like the last month doing this. I broke them down to like humor, health, and wealth. But with y'all, I'm gonna share like 8 of these because I have a bunch of other ones that are like set up for certain quarterly things that aren't necessarily like me uploading like something to Medium monthly. That's not really a goal. That's just a task I have to do. It's not really something I'm like, once I get done with it by the end of the year, it's just something I should have did. Right. These are some important things I'm gonna just share that like are directly related to what I talked about before. So I'm gonna get past that one comedy club. Whether that's Alameda Comedy Club, primarily that's the goal, to get past at Alameda Comedy Club. Once I have something like that on my resume, to be easier for me to get booked at other places. The goal is 1+ comedy clubs. So Alameda Comedy Club and Laughs Unlimited, hopefully. Then the next one is 4 comedian visits to LA. So 1 per quarter. So those are specifically going down there, 4 mics and shows. And if I do them there for audition, that's fine too, but they're all going to be comedic visits. So 1 per quarter. Hopefully it should end up being more than 4 next year. However, when things get away from me and life gets confusing and I'm booked, I can find at least one time to get down there in 90 days, 4 times over the course of a year. So that's why I built the goal like that. The third one is within the first quarter, I want to create a sole proprietorship for Ryan Humor. They held off on sending out the Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, W-2s or whatever this year. They're going to hold off on it, but the next year when they do that, I want to be prepared to get money back for all the money that I put into my business. So I want to set that up within the first quarter. The fourth one is I want to join a roast. So one of the pretty popular comics in Sacramento, Josh Means, he has a roast battle. He always posts on Facebook, I need new roasters. I have not signed up. Why? I'm scared, haven't done it. I don't know why I haven't signed up for the roast. I'm very excited about it, but it's just one of the things that I have to do. It's on the list. And then I want to perform at 24 new venues next year. And that's part of me like performing in LA and reaching out to new bookers. Because part of that goal is reaching out to 2 bookers per month. I don't reach out to that many bookers. I've been in a situation where I'm out enough where I meet bookers, which is cool, but I can get on more if I actually reached out, and I don't. So reaching out to bookers in 24 new venues. I'm going to run 200 miles next year. I'm crossing out. I'm retiring bangs It's been a break. I'm not drinking any more energy drinks next year. I'm going to just be a coffee guy, 100% coffee guy. And then lastly, I'm going to do 12 months of weight training. I've never in my life weight trained for 12 months. Usually like I run, I'll lift, I'll run, I'll lift until I go somewhere dope. And then I'll run, I'll do a bunch of cardio. I've been a Stairmaster for 1,000 years. But this year I want to do 12 months of weight training. I already have my workouts already set up. Like today I did shoulders and traps. Yesterday was cardio. The day before that was back and biceps. So the workouts already set up all from all Sunday through Saturday. So yeah, that's where we're at, man. 200 miles ran, no more energy drinks, 12 months of weight training, pass to the comedy club, 4 visits to LA, sole proprietorship for Ryan Humor, join Roast, reach out to 2 bookers per month, and perform at 24 new places. All that collectively should get me specifically where I need to be. And we'll check in on that. End of next year. I have some other things that are in the book, but they're just things where there's just certain things that you want to do in your life. I think that you should write them down, like if you want to do them. Like, for example, I want to go get a massage quarterly. I think you should just do that. I want to go get a massage quarterly. I want to get a physical quarterly. I want to join a combat sport. So those are things that are like, they're like wellness goals, if you will, or wellness tasks, things that you owe yourself, right? Like I should go get a massage every quarter. Like, why not? I should get a facial every quarter. Why not? You talk about these dudes in the streets, they're looking washed and they don't go do that type of stuff to release the lactic acids in their bodies and get their faces cleared out. And those are like other things that I just have written down for like self-care type of days. You know, we have these random Saturdays where it's like, damn, I don't got to do nothing today. Like, ain't nothing going on. Like, you know what? Let me just pay $150 for this massage real quick. Like, I'm not doing nothing else. Might as well. So I have like a bunch of little things written down like that. But the things I share with y'all are like the solid things that I would like to check in with you guys on in 12 months.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah, man. I love those, man. I love the list. I love how you had it formatted. Don't wonder why you was looking at me very strangely about my list. Your shit was very much organized. See what organization can do for you. I will be once like that. Next time we get on here, I'm gonna be very organized with my shit, and then it's gonna change.
I mean, you know what? I mean, you know what ends up happening is like I've heard you speak this way to your wife when she like wants to do something and she's like invested in it, and you want her to be more specific. And she's like, I'm gonna go back and swimming again. You go, all right, but when? I just want to start swimming again, baby. But like, what gym? Okay, what time? Okay, how soon before work? Okay, how many times a week? Every day. You're gonna do every day? Okay, 4 times. Okay, 4 times a week. So you're really great at asking for specifics from other people. Whether it's your little brother, whether it's your cousin, whether it's your other cousin, whether it's when you were at the bank, like counseling the youth about, I want to save $1,000 a month. Well, that's impossible, Johnny. You only make 200, but we can start with 10. You know, you're really great at finding out other people's specifics. So I've heard you do that before I even was able to do any of this. So to turn that energy into yourself and be like, okay, what do I mean by? I was someone me and my friends me and my comic buddies we met on Monday, sat down to talk about our goals or whatever. It's like my boys, I want to expand this show. Like, what do you mean expand? I just want to expand. Okay, but what does that mean? Well, I want to do like another week. Okay, cool. How many more weeks? So we could break it down. And that way, this is how you get help from people. Because if people know specifically what you want, then they can help you out. Right. Yeah. So it's like when I was getting my crib, it's like, hey, people at work was like, hey, Ryan, how's your house coming? How's your thing coming? You working on that credit thing? You get that thing clear because they know what I'm working on. Exactly. It's hard for people on the outside to support you if they don't know specifically what you're working on. That's why people get frustrated when people ask them about their goals and don't know what their goals actually are. Like, hey, how's that? Hey, you losing any weight? Like, nah. but if someone's like, man, hey, how many miles have you ran this week? Oh, 1. Okay, cool, good job. So sometimes we don't want to share our goals with people because motherfuckers is haters. And other times we don't want to share our goals with people because they don't have to give back the proper feedback. However, if we gave them a description of the proper task, it's easier for them to then be like, hey man, how's that thing going? You signed up for that marathon yet? Or did you upload that video yet? Y'all built that crib yet? Did you get that new health book? Did you delete the app yet? Like your goal next month can simply be, I'm gonna delete all my apps by the end of January eventually. Ordering shit. Now I could be like, hey, did you delete the app? Because that's a check-in versus like, nigga, you order from the spot. You're like, well, nigga, I ordered 5 times, but I don't even know how many times I ordered. But if the measured goal is delete the app in the first quarter of the year, I can easily ask you that. You know what I mean? So you do that for other people. You got to do that for yourself because you're good at it for other people.
Facts. That's why I needed you to hear from me, good brother. Appreciate that.
That's what we're here for, man. We only here to create greatness and make everybody else that's listening greater. This is what we have for y'all. If y'all got any specific things you want to work on, I'm not gonna say goals. We're gonna call these outcomes. If y'all got any specific outcomes for next year, please shoot us the DM. Leave a comment on the bottom about the time we upload the video. It's gonna be like by the time you see the video, it may be New Year's Eve, it may be 2023, but we still want to hear what you got to say on the bottom right there. Per usual, you could be anywhere in the world right now, but this whole year you were here with us, and we appreciate that.
And right now, if you made it this far, or in this year, if you made it this far, just know, man, we here. Really, 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 really fuck with you. So till next time, make sure you hit that like, subscribe button, and make sure you comment, and we'll check you next year. Bow.